Now, how could we sell a home for $1, right? Let's say we had a house that it wasn't quite livable, but someone comes along and they say, you know, I have skills that I can use. I have the availability to get some leftover plywood at the job that I work at, and they're okay with me, and I can fix that up. For us, if they could come and fix that up in a reasonable amount of time, and we know that it's habitable, we would then charge them the lot rent, and if they didn't pay the lot rent, they would have fixed up that house, and either they would leave it there or we'd make some deal with them to purchase it for a good value for us, and they'd get some money out of it as well. A lot of people, they said, that's not possible for $1, but we've done it. I can tell you we've done it, and it turned out well in terms of income. So again, $1.25 million. We, in December of 2016, we sold it in January of 2019. Does anyone have an idea why? 3 years and a few days. Let's go back to the Trump era where he put new tax rules in place. What he did was to say that anybody that has what's called carried interest, if you're a GP in a deal and you have what are called B shares, and those B shares are attributed to you by being the GP, and you didn't necessarily purchase it with money like you do with A shares, long-term capital gain tax, if you're going to not redeploy it, takes 3 years, as opposed to other transactions that are 1 year. So when that was put into effect, as I understand it, and again, I'm not a CPA, I'm not a tax advisor, I'm not an attorney, in order to slow down the churning of people's portfolios by hedge fund traders and a lot of other individuals who churn portfolios all the time, and they had what's called carried interest. We sold it for a 10 cap at a decent price. Now, we did have a higher than normal expense ratio. I remember I called this a turnaround park. And again, everything I'm telling you here, it's on our 2019 financials. So if we were to be audited on what we're saying here, it's in our tax returns, right? That's what you want from people who are teaching you about what they've done. You want to know that there's validation for what they say and what is really taking place. So you can see in green, I hope you can see there, 371 gross income, NOI before the debt service, and a little over 143 NOI after debt service. Again, our investors, all in with their quarterly distributions and their profit, their portion of profit after sale, made about 35% ROI on an annualized basis over 3 years, right? I didn't run IRRs back when we did this, but the IRR would have been pretty close to that number. Nowadays, it's hard. It's really hard to get something like this, but we look and we're patient and we're not in a hurry before we get something that we think can do well for our Class A investors. Now, a lot of you here are thinking you're going to want to be a sponsor. You're going to want to be a GP because you're smart, you're learning, and you've got the time perhaps, and you build a team through a network like this. So we're going to reveal to you how much Sharon and I made as sponsors, asset managers of this park. Is that something you think you'd like to know? Here it is. So we had a sponsor fee of $42,000. We received that after closing the deal. So if we divide that by, we'll say 3 years, right? It was an average of $14,000 a year for our sponsor fee. Our GP shares, the 20% carried, was $143,473 over those 3 years and a couple of days. So we averaged that to a little over $28,000. Annual profit on sale, our portion was $29,364 per year. Again, these are per year averages. Our asset management fee was $24,000. That's what Sharon would be paid for operating the park, and really she was worth a whole lot more than that, but that's what we had in our contract, so that's what we did. Our LP shares, we put in $160K of our own money in this to buy our A shares as well, so we averaged about $30,000 a year on this. So the average cash flow per year for just this one park was $126,059, okay? And remember, we had 3 other parks Sharon was working full-time. I was back to working full-time. You can see how you get 1, you get 2, you get 3, you get 4, and you're still working. And Sharon said that she put in about 4 to 5 hours a week on this. It's not that way when you start out, I can tell you that. First 90 days, you can put a lot more work in than that. But that's what we can do as a GP. So I want you to be thinking about that.
Click on the link in the comments below, and we're going to put all the information. How can you commit me live and all my power team as well? This is why I'm not hiding, because it did transform my life and other thousands of other people as well. And it can transform your life. You can get your financial situation to the next level with you and your family and everyone surround you. So this is why I love to share my journey, because I want you to start living the American dream, not just dream that you could have, but not taking the right action because no one have told you that you don't need money, you don't need credit scores. Worry about your credit score, and you don't need to have money, but you do need to know who you are working with and how to learn with the right people. So click on the link in the comment below, and we'll put more information how you can come meet us live and online as well, for you to start changing your life with us right now.